Hello and welcome back to this edition of Bayou Time. Again, your host, Keith Weissite. Thanks so much for joining us. Ladies, thank y'all for joining me. So very glad to have with us Machina Henry, RN, and one of the founders of SSK. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
All right. And a friend of mine from many, many years ago as we worked together at Terrebonne General, Pandora Joseph, RN, Vice President of SSK. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me also.
Now, we talk about SSK, and I know that there's a number of people that know what that is, but let's talk a little bit about how Sisters of Strength and Information came together, Strength and Knowledge.
Okay, initially we were a bunch of women, bunch of friends
Right.
that used to travel together.
Okay.
Travel all over the United States. Pan has been also out the country, and I've lived out the country as well.
Okay.
And during this time of travel, we were still talking about our community and still assisting people on the side in our community. So Sisters of Strength and Knowledge is a group of women that have been together. Our friendship spanned from 5 to almost 50 years. But as a group, we've been together approximately 6 years. So I decided that we would start talking about how can we help people in our community, especially women, so and on a larger base. So I decided to do a nonprofit organization where we can educate women, uplift, motivate women, and to make them aware of all the resources that they have in the communities. As nurses, we talk all the time about how there's a lack of knowledge on certain health issues and a lack of knowledge on different resources in the community. So we've all decided to come together. We have approximately 5 nurses. We have a licensed clinical social worker. We have a guidance counselor. We have another social worker. We have a licensed insurance agent, and we also have a licensed a tax agent, and we also have a fitness and wellness person and other paraprofessionals.
Okay.
So as you see, we have a wide range of professions in our group, and we all into helping people in our community.
Well, listen, as RNs, it's one of those things that you kind of learn in school to be able to figure out, look at a situation, figure out what the need is, and then be able to do something about it.
Correct.
Y'all took this whole concept of helping our community and women, no matter what age, color, or creed, whatever their need is, being able to see that. Pan, we learned that early on
Yes.
as we saw the need for people. What is it about SSK that makes you feel good about what y'all are doing?
Well, what makes us feel good about what we are doing is the helping others. Helping others without expectations brings us great joy. When we can put smiles on women or men faces, that brings them joy.
Yeah.
That brings us joy. I'm sorry. Because they may not have the resources that they need, or they may have gotten on their knees and prayed and asked for a prayer, and then someone they least expected, a stranger, a strange organization has come and helped me. And that's what brings us joy. Just seeing the happiness that's on humans' faces, that we made a difference in their life.
Yeah. You know, it's interesting. You mentioned the number of people that are in your organization from that 5 to 50 years now, of the people that are professionals in the healthcare
Yes.
area. As we know, very often when somebody comes in and they're told they may have cancer,
Yes.
very often they don't hear anything else.
Correct.
And then we talk about staging, we talk about what they need, what kind of treatment they need. And all of a sudden we go from hearing one word to hearing what we need to do, and then very often how much that's going to cost.
Exactly.
It scares the heck out of people.
It does.
Yes.
And for some people who don't have insurance,
exactly.
they wonder if they're going to have to choose between eating or treatment.
Yes. And that's a lot. That can be a burden on the family.
It absolutely can.
Yes.
And then we have some of those that are doing it alone.
They are. And I'm
Right?
glad you brought that up. And it's, I did oncology for a number of years. I specialized in oncology. And throughout my travel, I have administered chemotherapy and high dose chemo. It's changed a whole lot, thank God, since
yeah, no kidding,
20
huh?
years ago. But I've also encountered people that didn't have anybody to go walk those steps with them. And that can be lonely and it can be fearful. And a lot of times it's very, very scary. So it makes the person just sometimes withdraw because they have no one. They're thinking about how they're going to feed their children, what's going to happen to their children if something happens to them. So that's where we bring in our licensed social workers that we can have them talk to somebody. And a lot of people don't like to talk about the mental health part, but the mental health part is the hardest part. You know, it's the treatment. You can take the treatment, but it's the mental health part. Trying to get a family to understand that mom may not be able to go to the football game tonight because she's going through chemo, and mom doesn't want her children to miss the football game. So she has to decide on, am I going to get my medication, or am I ensure that my children continue to live their life like they should?
Right, and trying to, and all the pressure that they feel
Yes.
sometimes. Very often we see these single parents
Yes.
trying to do this kind of on their own. It's tough enough doing on their
Yes.
own. And then when they've got these health issues, and then when it's treatment that is an issue, and or those people, it's kind of interesting. You know, I see the picture very often. I go and visit with people in chemo rooms. I'm fortunate that in my job I get to see those people and get consulted in, very much like your social workers do, about trying to help out as we see those people really struggling. And some of those people with the mental, like you mentioned, the mental health issues, the anguish or the stress.
The why me?
Yeah.
Yes, the why me?
And what can I do, or their worth. Very often,
Yes.
sometimes they start to evaluate whether or not they're worthy, or should I fight even? Should I do this?
Yes.
Yes.
And we want to let people know that they're important. We want to let
Yes.
people know they're special, and want to let people know that we're going to help them, giving people what they need. But it's hard to do that without raising money.
It's very hard to do it without raising money. But we're so grateful that for this first annual breast cancer walk, we have a couple of sponsors. We have Tim, the Saunier, he was the sheriff.
Sheriff, right.
Yes, he's donated.
wonderful.
Tesh Action Clinic,
Right.
Aetna, HAP, and a couple of other agencies that we're going to have posted at the walk.
Williams.
Yes.
And we want to do
And
that.
Williams Technical College has definitely
Right.
been a blessing
A
to
big
us.
help.
Yes.
We love it. We appreciate that. Put the flyer up if you don't mind, Aaron. I appreciate it. Want to let you know that it is the first annual Breast Cancer Awareness Walk. It'll take place Saturday, October the 14th. So it's
Yes.
the second weekend in October, and it's going to be from 8 to 12. And really excited about that. And so people can go to Eventbrite, right?
Yes, sir.
to
They
do
can
that.
go to Eventbrite and go to Sister Strolling for Breast Cancer Awareness, and they can sign up. The registration is $30, and with that $30 comes a shirt, a very nice shirt.
All right.
During the event, we're going to have speakers, physicians, nurses, social workers. We're going to have vendors out there selling things. We're going to have a bouncy house that was donated for us.
Wonderful.
And what we're going to be doing is we're going to have our nurses set up to teach women how to do self-breast exams, which is very important. And also, we're going to have Mary Bird Perkins there and the Department of Louisiana Breast and Cervical Cancer Foundation. So if women are underinsured or do not have any insurance at all, we're going to sign them up for a free mammogram. So we want people to come out with their families because it is a family-friendly event. And the main thing, we want women to get a mammogram.
Right.
Especially if you have a family history of breast cancer. And we want to make sure that they understand how to do self-breast exams.
Look, and again, those two things are so very important because, quite frankly, that's one of those concerns. Okay, I don't have insurance. I can't think about a mammogram, even though we've got. I'm a third generation of, my mother and my grandmother both may have had breast cancer. I know that I'm at a higher risk, but I don't have insurance, so I can't do it. No, you guys are going to find a way to get
We're
them
gonna find a way,
connected
yes.
to get a free mammogram for
Yes,
them. That's
sir.
fantastic.
Yes, sir.
The second thing is I've learned this for many, many years with Pandora and some of the people that do the teaching they do, is that early detection is so important.
Very
We
important.
can't find something if we don't look for it,
That's right.
right?
That's correct.
And then if we do, sometimes it's gotten to the point where it's so big that we're at maybe a stage 2 or a stage 3, and we don't want to be there.
No.
We would like to find these early. So self-examination
It's very
so
important.
very important.
Yes.
I will tell you that my mother, who is, I won't say what year, but she's in her 80s, the entire time that they've lived in their house now, since 1977, she's got a little flyer that hangs in her shower that reminds her how to do
Yes.
those breast self-exams, and
that's
they're very
important.
important.
Yes, it is.
I do it myself.
And
Yes.
also men.
That is
Men
correct.
think they can't
That's
get-
right. Please don't think that
No.
men are exempt from breast
they're
cancer.
not.
It's a smaller percentage, but still.
Exactly.
I've had several friends in college that have had breast cancer.
Let me
Male
tell
friends.
you, I lived in Alabama, and the first time I had to give chemotherapy was to a 25-year-old male. Had just got finished college and had just got married. And he had breast cancer. And, you know, you hear about women having breast cancer. Very seldom do you hear about men having breast cancer.
Right. And it's just one of those things where we want to make sure that people are aware because you want to increase the awareness. That's why.
That's what
right?
we want to do.
We want them
Yes.
to know that there's resources out
There
there.
are resources.
This is a
yes.
wonderful event because y'all are partnering with so many different places to do that. So Pandora, give us a little bit more of that information, if you don't mind, about that day and what we can expect.
Well, on that day, and what we or you can expect, we will be educating women and men on the importance of self-breast exams, mammograms, and follow-ups from an abnormal mammogram. There will be physicians and nurses, social workers, counselors, breast cancer survivors, and women who are currently battling breast cancer to tell their journeys. Mary Bird Perkins will be scheduling mammograms for women who can't afford them and who are underinsured. There will be vendors selling items, Tash Action Clinic, Louisiana Breast and Cervical Health Program with information about mammograms,
Right?
Aetna, among other agencies to assist with resources if needed. This will be a family-friendly event, like Ms. Sheena said earlier, because we're looking forward for everyone to enjoy this moment, not just the breast cancer survivors, but they can bring their families also. And some of those proceeds will go to Mary Bird Perkins, and other proceeds will assist women in the community who are currently battling breast cancer.
Right.
It really takes a toll on families, especially if there's no one to assist in the patient's care. And when receiving chemo, patients are weak and they're unable to cook or clean or attend appointments. So that makes it even harder. So the funds will be used to assist with co-pays for appointments, wigs, scarves, food, and other assistance. Therefore, the patients will not have any or as many stresses to deal with. And even if we can help 2 people or 3 people, that means a lot.
Right.
And then we have S&S Transportation that has volunteered their time.
Okay.
If they need to get to their appointments and have no way to get there, they
help with that.
Yes, and so we're grateful to have them on board as well.
So 8 to 12, October the 14th,
14th.
really looking forward to it.
Yes.
And again, the Bayou Country Sports, right?
Yes,
Yes.
and if they need to contact
Complex.
me, they can contact me at 985-688-8402 or sskSisters12@gmail.com.
Ladies, we can't thank you enough. We
Thank
appreciate
you for
it.
having us.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Thank you.
And that will do it for this particular segment of Bayou Time. Don't go anywhere. A lot more local programming right here on HTV.
The-